gotta remind me that they don't record anymore. I have to hit buttons. But we'll go back on that. So we're talking about asking personal questions and getting in touch with someone's personal nature. You have to get past the surface. We talked about it months, weeks, days, a lot. It's an automatic reflex. I'm not interested. I'm just looking. I have an agent. Why are you calling me? These are automatic reflexes. They're called reflexes for a reason. They're trained responses. Over time, you develop that reflex. Nope, I'm just looking. No, thank you. I'm just, I didn't press that button. I didn't put my information in. Why are you calling me? When the truth is they did. Then disregard it. Okay. Tell me about yourself. Well, I don't want to tell you about myself. Okay, great. Where do you live now? What kind of questions did you ask this gentleman?
Well, I told him, I said, well, based on your voicemail, this is my first conversation with him. I said, I understand you do landscaping work. And he's like, well, I'm getting out of that now. I said, oh, okay, that's too bad. I was looking for a good landscaper. I said, well, may I ask what you're going to be getting into? And that's when he said, Jesus. I said, well, you can't get a better boss than that.
Awesome.
And then he started laughing, and then that just broke all the ice, and we talked for probably 30 minutes. So,
good.
Yeah, and I did get two additional actual buyers Friday by talking. And yes, one lady was like, I was just looking. And I'm like, well, what area were you looking? And maybe there's some coming soon listings going to be coming out. Maybe I can fish around a little bit more for you. And so, I am trying to dig a little bit deeper, and it is helping because a lot of my lead calls would be just like, oh, I'm just looking. And I would kind of leave it at that. But now after our training sessions, I'm trying to dig in a little bit deeper and not get hung up on so often. So it is encouraging. Thank you.
Yeah, you don't let them control the conversation to the point where they're just like, I'm good, no thanks.
Yeah.
Because where are you going to get anywhere? We're in the business of lead generation and then cultivating those leads. There's no sense in going down to the store, buying a fruit tree, and leaving it in your driveway. Sure, it'll be there and it'll be pretty for a while, but soon it'll die and then it'll become worthless. And then you have to put more energy in just cleaning it up, when the same energy could be put into putting it in the ground, cultivating it, preparing it, nurturing the tree, nurturing the lead, and then you become the benefactor of the fruit that comes from it. Anybody, and I mean anybody, has the ability to generate leads, even at a high level. You can go to the phone book, you can open it up, and you can get names and phone numbers. Is that a lead? Is it a good lead?
Any lead's a good.
I'm going to challenge you on that one, Hope.
Okay.
Because if you just open up the phone book and you go to Daniel Smith and you call Daniel Smith and say, hey, I think you're looking for a house, is that a good lead?
I hear you.
Exactly.
But in other words, don't rule it out, though.
Don't rule it out. Still call. But that's what I'm saying. Anyone can generate leads at a high level. It's the cultivating, it's the nurturing of the leads that generate the fruit that you can yield. We've talked about hunters and gatherers, hunters and farmers. There are hunters in this business. They go out and they hunt the deals. They do the open house. They get the one warm lead or the one hot lead that wants to sell or buy right now, and they focus on that and that deal alone. Yeah, they will eat sooner than you and I will, but they will soon starve because they haven't hunted enough. During the whole COVID pandemic, hunters starved because they weren't allowed to go hunting. We're training you guys to be farmers. We're training you guys to grow your own leads, develop your own client base, and have it nurturing to a point where it's producing its own fruit. If you guys have never read the book, The Richest Man in Babylon, I recommend doing so. It's a fable. It's a great little story where they talk about the children of your money making money for you.
Yeah.
That's a basic to saying investing, right? The children of my gold and silver makes money for me. So the efforts of what you put in now will become what serves you later. let's do a role play through that where we have a new lead, just looking, or I was just online, just happened to click it, didn't mean to send my info. Is that the response you get most times? Well, I didn't mean to send my info. The hell do you mean you didn't mean to send your info? You clicked submit. I'm just waiting for the nod from Donna because I know that she's gotten this before too.
I've clicked submit on things just to get to see what I want, and then I don't want to talk to one person.
Perfect. Donna's going to be the client.
Pisses me off. No, I'm going to hang up now because I'm mad.
So,
what?
who wants to be my agent? Come on.
Can I throw a twist into it?
I love it. Let's do it.
So I've gotten 3 or 4 calls on a sign in Meadowbrook that's been under contract for a while. It's kind of a long contract. And some of them want to rent, some of them want to buy. And the woman that called the other day, I asked her if she was working with an agent. And she said, yes, but I haven't signed anything. And that for me is always a very precarious, ethical sort of scenario. So I know what I did, but I would love for somebody else to role play in this. When she called, she's interested in the house. She's driving around on her own because she knows how hard it is to find a house in her price range on the Northwest side. And she's actually more on top of it kind of than the agent is. So I'd love to know what somebody would do besides me, because I know what I did.
So Donna's going to be our client. She's going to call an agent on a sign call. So she's going to call you. Who's she calling? Who's my signed agent? Who's got the listing she's going to call on?
Chickens, come on.
Fortune favors the bold.
See, who last week, if anybody else wants to go, but otherwise I will.
I mean, I'm going to call out some people here shortly. Charity's getting scared already.
Come on, Charity.
Okay, I'll do it. I'm Stephanie. I'll do it. I don't even know what I'm doing, but I'll talk to Donna.
But you're so cute in that picture with your hubby.
Well, right now I've got baby running around. So Dan,
Okay.
can you just like coach me through so I can talk to Donna and you can tell me like some things I did right or wrong?
Well, let's run through one and then let you try one out. Charity, why don't you be the agent on the first run, and then Stephanie can do a second time, give some practice.
Okay.
Because I know Charity has a listing in a neighborhood similar to Meadowbrook, just out in Sierra Vista. So
Okay, so I'm dialing. I'm dialing. Charity, you're answering. Bing, bing, bing.
Hi, good morning. This is Charity.
Hey, Charity. This is Donna. And can you tell me about the house on Sunset Road? Is it sold or is it for sale or is it...
Oh yes, Sunset Road. That's a great house and a great location. So you're looking to buy a home?
Yeah, I am. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Can I ask, are you looking to pay cash or are you looking for financing?
Nope, I have financing and I'm already signed up with the lender. All right, who's got their kids in the background?
Oh, sorry.
Okay, perfect. So you already have a pre-qualification on hand?
I do.
You said? Okay, great. What I'd love to do is meet with you for about 15 minutes in our office, and then we can go see the home from there.
Hey, you know what? I don't think it's worth going to an office right now. Every time I talk to anybody, the houses on the Northwest side are under contract before anything, or like in 10 minutes.
I agree. But I do want to make it worth your while. The reason that we'll be meeting in the office is so that I have a better understanding of exactly what you're looking for. And then once we're finished, I'll actually set both of us up with automatic alerts so that we're seeing what's coming on the market right away at the same
Well, I'm already getting those from another person another agent I talked to, but it doesn't even seem to matter because by the time I get the alert, most of the time they're already under contract, like same day or 4 hours later.
Okay, and this other agent, are you working with this agent?
She's shown me a few houses.
Okay. Yeah, I'd love to be the agent that you choose to hire to help you with this purchase. And again, though, the reason that we do meet at the office first, though, it's partly so I'm better prepared. I'm a professional. I want to be able to help you in the best way. Another part, though, is the safety aspect.
Well, I feel kind of guilty just going and meeting you when I've already looked at houses with Bobby.
That's fine. I mean, again, I don't want to step on anyone's toes. So if you're already working with another agent, then that's fine. But yeah, I do work exclusively with my clients. So if you're prepared to come into the office and talk with me today, I would love to do that.
Okay, that's all I want to do right now because I'm not going to the office. So,
All right. Well, I hope to talk to you in the future.
Charity. So at that point, I asked her if she had signed by a broker.
Mhm.
We kind of went through that. So,
Okay.
So one thing I would throw in there is the question of, if you're already working with an agent now, what has you contacting me directly?
are you
Flush
asking?
flush out the reason why. You know?
And that's where she told me that that she has time. She wants to be Northwest. She knows how quickly they're selling, and she has family in a specific neighborhood. So she has purposefully been driving around in like the 85742 zip code to see if she sees signs.
Okay. Now let me ask you this, Ms. Donna Reed. Would it be important for you, for your agent to be doing similar things to help you find properties faster than the MLS? Because as you've already told me, you understand that they're flying off the market right now.
Yeah, but she's young and she has little kids and she doesn't have a lot of time.
That's okay. I completely understand that there's a lot of agents at this marketplace, and it's perfectly natural. If you find an agent up front that doesn't quite work for what you're looking for, it's within your best interest to find an agent who's going to serve your need best.
Agreed.
Have you had the chance to sign a buyer broker agreement with her?
No, I haven't signed anything.
What's kept you from signing something?
Well, she didn't ask. I think she's really new.
Really new?
Yeah, I think she seems pretty young, and she's really sweet. I really like her, but I think she's just really new in the business.
That's okay, Miss Donna. There's a lot of new agents out there. They've got to get their stripes somehow. How would you feel like if we met down there in the neighborhood you're looking this afternoon? You got some time this afternoon, or tomorrow be easier?
I've already driven the whole neighborhood, and I don't think there's any other signs.
I actually have a couple that I know of. Being a Keller Williams agent, I have the access to the entire of our listing book that comes up, and I've got 3 agents in that neighborhood who do a lot of business. One of the great agents, Donna Reed, you probably saw one of her properties there, has some clients in the area that we can work with. Let me show you firsthand how working with the Keller Williams gives you top-notch experience, as well as getting access to properties faster, so that you can hedge out the competition and get something in right now.
Okay, Dan. Actually, Dan, that was quite good. So I did not do that. Do you want to know what I did?
What did you do?
So I had a real long talk with her about the agent that she's working with and about ethics, and that I absolutely did not want to tread on anyone else's toes. And that if she likes her agent and she wants to continue to work with her agent, she should in fact talk to her about specific representation. But if not, I would be happy to work with her and talk to her. And I was driving, and so she texted me all of her information, and we ended up having a phone conversation later, and she hasn't decided yet. But we found a whole lot more out about what she wants and how close we are in age and life paths. So I tend to be a little bit more about building that relationship piece, but I am really, really leery about anything where another agent has already worked with them, even if they haven't signed a buyer broker, because I didn't use buyer brokers for the first 7 years I was in real estate.
What changed that?
Keller Williams.
It's a higher level professionalism, right?
That's what I meant. Yes.
Higher level professional. When you have a standard of conduct with your business, you show that you are a higher level professional. I mean, it's odd coming from me because you all know who I am and very goofy. But when it comes down to the nuts and bolts of a transaction, it's literally a switch that comes on. It's Mr. Dan, the professional. Put my hat on. Let's go to work. We'll sign some contracts. Once the work's out of the way, we go back to playing. And it's okay to be a new agent. It's okay to not have buyer brokers. I don't fill out buyer brokers usually until I have a contract in place. and I've been burned by it. It's changing my expectations. So I've shifted my business the last couple of years to having in-person, in the office consultations. And that's the thing, is you're gonna spend thousands of dollars driving around, wasting your time and energy, and family and deserves to be with just looking at houses. Let me do the job for you. It's what I get paid for.
Charity, is that your modus operandi? Do you automatically take buyers to the office? And
I
do
do.
you?
Yeah.
Everybody-
And the big part for me is safety. I mean, that's my main concern, but I don't bring it up right away unless they keep pushing it.
Oh, that's interesting.
So.
Okay.
So Dan, I have a question for you.
Yes, sir.
On the ethics thing about this very question. I tend to be a little bit black and white. So, you know, when I've had those conversations where, you know, or someone says, oh, so-and-so showed me some property, and I will try and get more out of them first by saying, well, tell me a little bit about that. Tell me a little more about that. But at what point, I guess I got two things here. Kind of at what point in the ethics world, you know, do you kind of have to step back, or should you step back? And then secondly, what I have done, and this is what I'm starting to question in my mind, is educate them and say, okay, well, if you have signed something with another agent, then I need, you know, that's who you need to really be working with. I'll be happy to have a conversation further with you and give you my opinion of things. But if you sign something, then clearly, you know, you've engaged with that person. If you haven't signed anything, you have options. And then I go into kind of our Keller Williams pitch. Am I on track there, or is there an ethics issue anywhere in what they're in what
There's not even an ethics situation if they have a buyer broker agreement with a different agency. Is a buyer broker the hold harmless on everything? No. What challenges a buyer broker? A subsequent buyer broker. Meaning that if I've got one and the client decides that I'm a POS and he wants to work with Angela, they go to Angela, sign a new buyer broker. Mine becomes invalidated.
Oh.
But like Donna went along the lines and talked about it, said, hey, what is it about this agent that you're not working? She's young, she's inexperienced, blah, blah, blah. I like her, but huge red mark there, but she seems inexperienced. Well, it sounds like to me that an experienced agent is something that you would value. Am I correct? Wait for it and then go into it. Great. Let's meet today around 4 p.m. And let me show you what the value in working with a professional Keller Williams agents will do for your search.
That's interesting, Dan. That's way more assertive than I am in this terrain.
This is all in developing different styles. I get away with things a lot more than some people, but I come from a very heavy-handed, hard negotiating tactic. We started this call off by talking about the emotions that you get from other agents. If they feel like you're bullying them, or they're bullying you or pushing you into decisions, or some kind of an aggressive edge, it's because it's probably coming from somebody like me that's very hard-nosed. I stand my ground. I'm ready to lose this deal over this bit because it's not that important to my client to bend to your will. And they tell me to fight like hell, I'm going to do so. If they ask me to yield and bend out of the way and let it go, then I let it go. Don't ever take it personally. Don't ever take it as agent to agent fighting. Sometimes you will run into agents that are just assholes. I mean, there's no other political correct term for it, but they are. They're just assholes, and they're out there to make a stand. Oh, I can tell by your MLS number you don't know what you're doing. Well, I can tell by your MLS number you should have retired 10 years ago.
Oh.
But I've heard that on both sides. These are conversations I've heard when agents start attacking each other personally. Huge ethics violation. Huge. If it's a negotiating point, Ms. Donna, I appreciate that your sellers want to do that. My buyers are not interested. If you're willing to cut your commission to make this thing work, let's do it. Otherwise, we're at an impasse. Some agents would see that as aggressive. Some agents would see that as bullying. That is 100% hard-nosed negotiation. So if you're more of an assertive person and you're able to take that direct line and having that conversation flow, then do so. If you're more like Donna and being able to have a conversation that's extremely airy, very friendly, and she still gains a lot of agreement, then that's the style you need to take. These calls are not the end all. It's not my way or the highway. This is a collective group of in and out experiences from different people. And I come from a different world of negotiation than Larry does. And I definitely come from a different world than Donna does. I mean, Donna is way more worldly in knowledge than I am, because she's traveled and she knows different cultures and she knows how the different ebb and flow of the conversations go. So she's able to weave into those conversations. So she may not take the hard line approach. I may blow out some deals by doing that, but that's just how I know. I get straight to the point. I don't do a whole lot of small talk. I do very well with doctors, lawyers, and engineers. I don't know why. I don't do so well with artists and painters.
Oh, imagine that.
I have,
Yes, Ms. Tess.
this is probably off topic, but this is what was coming to my mind when this scenario was playing out was, I'm so new, I get scared, right? And I can imagine that if somebody else was in that same position, like this agent, supposedly she's new, she seems new, whatever. But I've noticed, like in our PC group, I mean, people are texting you, messaging you like every second, like, what do I do with this? What do I do with this? What do I do with this? So it's like the benefit that we have starting from scratch at Keller Williams is so much better than what some of the independent agents out there have. My first thought would be, as soon as this situation was resolved, I'm going to be going to that young agent going, hey, do you know what Keller Williams can offer you in training if you come join us?
They don't know what they don't know. And
They don't know what they don't know.
Yeah, the deal I just closed on Friday was a new agent on a massive team. She didn't know half the paperwork. And I literally was like, okay, you need to go have your client sign line this, send it back to me, no worries. She's like, oh my God, Dan, I'm so sorry. My mentor told me differently. I was like, that's okay. Go talk to your broker. And then like a long pause, she's like, you can call the broker? That's why they're there. So great point, Tess. Recruit, because it's only going to make us better. The more agents that we have the ability to influence and train and teach and grow, the better we are as a brand, Keller Williams, Southern Arizona, the better we are as an industry, less lawsuits, less pissed off people, less like the car business. I mean, I hate to say it like that, but we all know how that is. And the better your pocketbook is, because you're going to become the agent of choice. You're going to be the first person they ask. Red is the go-to color. As a Broncos fan, I hate that, but it works, whatever. So good questions, good stuff this morning, guys. I love it. Happy Monday. Anything else before we cut off?
That was good.
That was good. Thank you.
So here's some homework for you if you want to. Write down 5 responses to I'm just looking or some variant. I'm just looking. I just want the price. I just wanted to know if it was available. Some generic reflex response, right? Everyone's heard the I'm just lookings, even Toothless. Toothless is Nicole's cat. Unless that was Hiccup. I'm not sure. They're 2 cats.
It was Toothless.
I was right. So, awesome, guys. Well, if you need me, call me. If you're doing the spring masterminds, jump on it, have a good time, learn some stuff. Otherwise, go do something great today. Be good to each other.
Thanks, Dan.
Stephanie, I'm sorry to get back to you.
Thanks, Charity.
We'll definitely run one with you, okay?
Thank you.
Okay, that sounds great. And what's the PC stand for again?
Productivity coaching
Okay.
or
Thanks
perfection
again.
counseling.
Oh, okay.
Bye, guys. Hey,
Bye.
PC call at 2:30 PC call. See you guys there. We're going over negotiations.
Great.